recording. Okay, so thank you for coming along to this housing drop-in. This one is focusing on damp and mould, how to spot it, how to prevent it, and what we do to fix it. So let's do some introductions before I pop up the presentation. My name is April Hatcher. I'm the engagement manager. Raoul?
Hi, I'm Raoul D'Souza. I'm the engagement coordinator at Broxborough Council, so April is my manager.
And James.
Hi, and I'm James Whiter, the repairs and compliance manager. So within my remit at Broxtowe, I oversee the delivery of our repair service, our empty homes, void properties, certain compliance areas which include gas, electric, Legionella and lifts, housing disrepair and damp and mould.
Great. So intro's out the way. Next part of technology is getting up the sharing of the presentation. So I'm to this one. Everyone see it?
Yep.
Yeah, you're in the way. Need to move you so they can get to the presentation. Okay, still all can see that?
Yeah, it's gone to present mode.
Amazing. So damp and mould. I'm just going to go through some of the webinar rules and courtesies. So microphones and videos are muted unless host allows. Please use the chat respectfully, avoid spamming and off-the-topic comments. Stay on topic, focus on council housing, follow-up materials. So materials will be shared after this session. No disruptive behaviour. Please be respectful and constructive. Respect privacy. Do not record, screenshot or share content without permission. These sessions, I've just said, will be recorded, and please keep your camera off and do not share personal details. So if you do have a question, keep it more of a general vague topic, so we're not sharing your address or anything like that. Protect your privacy. Please do not share personal information in chat. Should have just read that one. So, code of conduct. We are committed to creating a safe and respectful space for all participants. By joining this webinar, you agree to treat everyone with respect, be courteous and constructive in your intentions, avoid hate speech or discriminatory language. Any form of racism, sexism, homophobia or other discriminatory behaviour will result in immediate removal. Respect privacy. Do not share personal information about others without consent. Engage in good faith. We welcome diverse perspectives, but disruptive or intentionally provocative behaviour will not be acceptable. Report any concerns. If you witness or experience inappropriate behaviour, please notify a moderator privately. So, understanding moisture issues and how to prevent them. For this, I'll pop over to James to share with the first slide.
Okay, so thank you, April. So what is damp? How to prevent it? So there's different types of damp that we can come across. The main ones being obviously including rising damp, penetrating damp and plumbing related leaks, each with different causes and effects. The causes of damp, essentially moisture can enter buildings from ground capillary action, structural damage or leaking pipes. Signs of damp to look out for. Common signs would include tide marks along the walls. Generally, there will never be any higher than 1 metre high. We see some peeling wallpaper, some paint damage, some staining, and as I say, some visible damp patches on the walls. There can also be sort of that smell of that dampish smell that sort of again can indicate there's underlying issues as well potentially. So the impact and prevention, damp obviously damages structures and risks health. So identifying sources is key for treatment and prevention. And obviously our advice there would be in regards to prevention, obviously the damage. If you notice any leaks in your property, of anything of a concern, then we would urge you to sort of report that at your earliest opportunity to us so that we can investigate that for you. Along with the leaks, boilers may lose pressure, and that could be a hidden pipe under a floor that you can't physically see a leak. But if your boiler's constantly losing pressure, that'd be another reason to sort of ring and call us, because there could be an underlying issue there that we could look into and get rectified for you. And so what is mould? How to prevent it? So mould characteristics. Mould is a fungus appearing as black, green or white, generally sort of patches on damp surfaces like walls and furniture. Excess moisture from condensation leaks or high humidity promotes mould growth in poorly ventilated areas. The health risks of this, obviously, mold exposure worsens respiratory problems and particularly affects vulnerable groups like children and the elderly. Prevention methods there, sort of controlling the moisture and improving ventilation, along with regular cleaning, prevents mold growth. So just to re-emphasize on that, keep on top of it to prevent it from spreading is a key sort of message to get out of there. Other things to do to prevent that mold from forming: keeping furniture away from walls, allowing the airflow to flow around the back of furniture will reduce the impact of mold forming in those areas. Open windows to ventilate, of course. Using your extractor fans when you're showering and when you're cooking will again prevent excess moisture from forming and turning into mold. And keep your room ideally temperatured, or your property as a minimum temperature of around 18 degrees should also assist in keeping the mold away. So what is condensation and how to prevent condensation? So forming of condensation. Condensation happens when more moist air contacts a cooler surface, forming water droplets. Common condensation often appears on windows, corners, and behind furniture where airflow is limited. The majority of these instances as well, you'll find is obviously on a window, or it's generally on an external wall, because the external walls, obviously the thermal of an external wall is going to be cooler than an internal wall, hence the reason why windows generally are the first place to get the condensation forming. Excess moisture from condensation encourages mold growth, creating unhealthy indoor environments. So again, improving ventilation and reducing humidity helps prevent condensation and its negative impacts. So again, just on that, the key thing obviously again is using extractor fans in kitchens and bathrooms when cooking and when washing. Keep your bathroom door closed when you're showering to prevent the spread of moisture going into other rooms and causing this condensation issue. And on that note, should you have any issues with your current extractor fans in either your kitchen and bathroom, as in if they're not working, or if you don't have one present, then please report that to the housing repairs team, and we can get, obviously, if there is one in situ, we can get it repaired. If there's not one there, then we can look to get one installed if it's physically practical. Okay, so problems with condensation. Condensation often manifests itself in mold growth within the areas affected. Mold is a living organism and needs killing to get rid of it. To kill and remove the mold, wipe down walls and window frames with a fungicidal wash, which carries a Health and Safety Executive Approval number, following the manufacturer's instructions. Mildewed clothes should be dry cleaned and carpets shampooed. Once treated with a fungicidal wash, redecorate using a good fungicidal paint to prevent the mold from reoccurring. Okay, so here's some sort of bits around what Broxtowe are doing and what steps we're taking to tackle the damp and mold issues that we may come across within our housing stock. So first and foremost, if you have any damp concerns within your property, then please either report it via our Housing Repairs Contact Centre on the 0115 917 7777 and select option 2, or email our dedicated damp and mould inbox that we've got within our housing repairs team, which is dampandmould@broxtowe.gov.uk. And just to reiterate, that is the and sign, as you can see on the screen, not and spelt separately. It does need to be the and sign for clarity. And so what will we do? So if you notify us that you've got any concerns around damp, mould, condensation, you need to report it to us, and we will inspect and undertake an urgent mould wash at that property to eradicate the mould that's present. We will assess the issue and request a damp survey from our approved contractor if necessary. If a survey is completed, we will provide you with a copy for you to keep for record. Along with this survey, we'll highlight any other identified repairs and undertake works, and we will undertake them works accordingly. These could be things like, upon doing the survey, we might notice that there is no structural damp issues as such with regards to the structure of the building, but we might notice some guttering defects. There may be some pointing issues to the brickwork. There might be an issue with some loft insulation, to name but a few issues that may crop up upon those reports that we will obviously attend and rectify to reduce the chances of the damp issue reoccurring. If there is structural damp issues that's been found upon the survey being undertaken, we will arrange for these works to be undertaken and may offer temporary accommodation for the duration of these works, dependent on the customer's needs, the amount of damp proofing that's required, and the type of property that person lives in. Once all works are complete, we will contact you, generally sort of 4 to 6 weeks after the work's been done, to check on the outcomes of the works that have been done and whether it's having a benefit to that dwelling. And then just some top tips. Some of these obviously I have already covered during the last few slides, but just to sort of reiterate, extractor fans, if your extractor fans are not working or you would like one installing, please contact us to arrange for these to be repaired or installed. And again, that will be on the either the phone number that we've provided on the previous slide or the email address that we've provided on the previous slide as well. Just a little fact at the bottom, did you know that your extractor fan only costs £4.49 a year to run? So in the grand scheme of things, they are relatively cost effective to run, and we would urge that if you have an extractor fan, it is used at times to prevent any moisture build-up in your property and will help with any condensation issues that we do come across. Madeline from our contact centre, she shared previously, if you can keep your property well ventilated, it will help reduce damp and mould, it will keep your property clean, and it will avoid getting vermin, which is also a bonus. Now, how warm should your home be? So as I've come across, I did discuss this previously, but yeah, please think about your health and your own household's needs before cutting back on the temperature of your heating. For most people, 18 degrees is a good temperature aim for indoors, although older and disabled people and very young children may need it warmer. The guidance of recommended 18 degrees is if that's the minimum temperature, it should keep the property technically warm enough to prevent excess mold and condensation growth. So yeah. And then help from energy companies. Some energy firms offer hardship grants. Check your supplier's website for details. You could be also asked for more time to pay, an affordable payment plan or a payment break to negate against the need for not having a heating on, which will have an adverse effect on the property. Okay, so I'm going to pass you back over to April, I think, who's going to play a little video. I'll let April explain.
Yeah, hopefully it will play. I've never done a video on a video, so we'll see how this goes. It's a really great video from MPS and Norwich Council. It's called Help Reduce Mouldy, and it's got a little character. But Rao is going to pop the link into the chat just in case there is any issue. So let's see if it plays.
It's playing, but I can't hear audio.
Ooh.
It's because you've muted your computer because we did it for the what's it called, like the echo. So that'll be the reason, won't it?
Yeah, let's have a play. One second, because it would be great to share. So let me just stop sharing for 1 second. James, do you want to just pop yours?
Okay, you're both muted now, just to say.
It's all learning. Share window.
Yeah, that's working.
Hello, my name's Mouldy. I know what you're thinking. He's grown. Oh, well, yes, it's true. I've got a bit of a size issue. But it's not my fault. It's the condensation that does it. I keep trying to slim down, but it's all the moisture that makes me grow. That's why I wanted to have this talk. You can help me trim down if you just make a few simple changes around the house. Huh? Look, see? All this steam, I just gained another inch. Oh! Please, when you're cooking, put lids on bubbling saucepans. Don't leave your kettle boiling and only fill it with as much water as you need. You need an extractor fan and you need it to be on. Make sure it isn't blocked. And keep the door closed so that the steam doesn't escape and condense elsewhere.
Okay.
When you're taking a shower or a bath... Oh, hi, sorry. Don't mind me. I'm just telling the viewers, showers and baths give off loads of steam, so you should always have the extractor fan on. Or the window open a bit. And keep the door closed even after you've finished, so that the steam goes out the vents and not into the house. Drying clothes creates loads of moisture. You should really hang wet clothes outside. But okay, so if you don't want to hang your pants up in public, then the best inside place to dry them is the bathroom, with the door closed. Make sure you spin wet clothes really well before you hang them up. And if you've got a tumble dryer, make sure it's connected to an outside vent. Instead of turning the central heating up high just when you need it, it's much better to keep your house at a constant temperature of around 18 to 22 degrees. That will help stop condensation forming. It's better to have your curtains open to let the air circulate, or the heat will go up behind them. Any ventilators should be kept on or open all the time. Condensation often forms on windows or other cold surfaces like toilet cisterns. You should wipe it down when it forms. Ever wondered why the water level on the fish tank goes down? No, the fish isn't drinking the water. Keep a lid on it to stop evaporation. If you do find mould growing, you should wipe affected areas with a fungicidal wash. One which carries the Health and Safety Executive approved number. Making sure you follow the manufacturer's instructions. Don't use bleach or washing up liquid. They don't work. You see, anything that gives off moisture causes condensation, and condensation can cause mould. So always remember, less moisture, less mouldy.
Was that? Oh, so I just wanted to say thank you again. We borrowed that video from Norwich Council and MPS. I think it's really great to share and such a fun little video. We do also have some of the booklets of the Help Reduce Mr. Mouldy books. So if you do want one of them, get in contact and we can share those out. I was just going to do a few little top tips for winter, and I just thought of another link for Raoul to pop in the chat that he hasn't got. Apologies. So this is from our housing magazine, winter 2024. So he'll pop that in the chat, and these are just some of the things that we shared in there. So we have 10 low-cost tips to try and keep you stay warm, save energy, and keep those bills down. So it's a bit of a mixture of reducing that damp and mould and also being warm and safe over the winter time. So wear multiple layers of clothing on to trap warmth. Use warmer house slippers of indoors, especially on your floors if you have no carpet. Try adding a blanket under the duvet, not over the top, for extra warmth. Drink hot drinks and soups. Use the hot water bottle wrapped in a towel and foot warmers if you have them. Tackle drafts by using door snakes. They're also good to keep, again, we want air to go out. We don't want to go out the wrong way. So we want to use your trickle vents, that's the word, instead of like gaps in the doors, or if you've got any little nicks that way. Install draft excluders, hang thicker curtains at windows and doors, try tractory shops for a bargain pair, keep doors closed and reduce radiator temperature in spare rooms. Though we do recommend from the mouldy below 18 to 22 as a standard throughout the house to keep it safe, and leave the oven door open after use to let the heat warm up your home. So that's great ways to keep warm, but again, make sure you always keep the house hopefully at 18 degrees, and when you get your boiler checked every year, make sure you let us in for that, because that's very important to make sure that's running efficiently, isn't it, and get it up safely. Any questions around that, Raoul? Have we got any questions in the chat at all?
Not got any of the questions in the chat currently.
No, I do have one that's been sent in. So if I've had damp proofing works completed in my property, is it possible that mould could appear shortly after the works has been completed?
In some instances, yes, that can happen, and we have had a couple of examples where that's happened, where we've done some damp proofing works in properties, and but I suppose essentially when we're having to do new damp proofing works, we're chopping off a lot of plaster, we're replastering certain areas, putting a damp proof course in. Obviously, main ingredient in plaster being water, so we're pumping lots of moisture and water into those walls to do the damp proofing. Obviously, that plaster needs to take time to dry, so there is a chance that over the immediate works after it's completed, there could be a little bit of mould forming, but over time, once the plaster dries out and the property is brought back up to temp and things like that, these issues should technically alleviate. If there is any concerns from anybody, though, then the best thing to do is report it back to us, and we can get someone to come back out and just double check and undertake some works if they're needed, or provide that peace of mind that it obviously is just part of the process of the works being drying out time.
Cool, thank you. Have you got any more top tips before we wrap up?
I think it's just to reiterate the ones that we've done, and like I say, if you've got any concerns, then please obviously report it at your earliest convenience, and we can obviously duly get out and make sure that we can resolve the matter for you and keep you safe in your property.
Great. So I think if that's all questions, then we're nearly at time. Please take a screenshot. You are allowed to take a screenshot or a picture of this one, so please do so. And if you want to share this video will be on YouTube hopefully in a week's time, so please share with any tenants or friends that you know, because it'd be great to just share the awareness of this and hopefully get it reduced. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Raoul. Thank you, James, for coming along. Really appreciate it, and have a lovely day. I'm going to stop sharing and then end the event.